Evolution was great. There you go, smack bang right out of the gates, but every single person involved with this had gone, all right, well, if WWE is not going to build this show properly, we will just go out there, and as Sheamus would say, have banger after banger after banger. That's exactly what they did, and if you have a few hours today and you don't intend to watch it, change your plans right now. Or don't, what do I care? Also, hello my friends, and welcome to Ups and Downs, the only wrestling review show you need. What is it, number 5? Number 5 this weekend, you must be bored of me. I'm bored of me, and I'm me, and that doesn't make any sense. However, we're not going to do any comparisons, like this show is better than that show. I'm just going to say, even though it would be better if we separated these events out, my gosh, they're all pretty damn good. And Evolution, which was the last one, went, well, we ain't going to fall down. We're going to stand up tall. So let's take the finger of power and up those downs. Joe Tessitore brought out Stephanie McMahon to have a little bit of a chat before the pay-per-view did get going. I kind of feel like Stephanie should have just been on commentary, like I understand why she should be involved, but we kept cutting back, and they had another chat, and then we kept coming back, and they had another chat. Sometimes I just want to watch matches, not everything has to feel like, oh, it's the greatest thing of all time. Just prove it with the work. Far be it from me to comment on this as well, but while I'm perfectly happy to have another Evolution at some point, let's just use this to go, oh, hi, our women's wrestlers are really good, so let's make sure we feature them into all pay-per-views as much as possible, and when the story does make sense, let's whack them in the main event, because trust me, we're going to get to Iyo Sky versus Rhea Ripley, and that flipping thing could have closed any show across the world. Right now, nobody would have said jack. I mostly would tell you to go read Becky Lynch's book, because she talks about this way better than I ever could, and she was out first defending her IC title against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Once again, this was just awesome. Like, it was such a good triple threat match. They all hate each other, they all have beef, so they all ran at each other, and then, if you can believe it, they started to wrestle. Fans popped as soon as the bell rang too, and Bayley took advantage of this, because all three were stood there like, oh my gosh, I can feel the aura slap your arm, when Bayley punched Lyra in the face. It made me laugh. And then when you go, I go, we all go, as Lynch started throwing people into barricade and all our wrestling friends, when as it is 2025, we gotta dive, put a 1 on the counter. Bayley was then breaking up covers with elbows when she even grabbed Becky and threw her into Lyra, who was just chilling in the corner. When we were getting superplexes and people were going for submissions, even though it was way too early from that. So Lyra Valkyria had learned from Bayley, and she started breaking things up with leg drops. Lynch and Lyra then traded, but Becky got the manhandle slam and Bayley broke that up at the 1-2-ooh. So Bayley then went and hit the Bayley to belly, but Lyra broke that up at the 1-2-ooh, and then Lyra hit the Nightwing, and someone broke that up at the 1-2-ooh, but I've forgotten now, because of course it was just 3 beings running around, but you could see what we did here, it was well thought out. Bayley then remembered, oh yes, I have 2 finishers, so I'm going to use that as well, and she hit Lyra Valkyria with the Rose Plant, and this is when WWE had decided, listen, we're doing a triple threat match, so we're going to do our favourite finish, but it had a little bit of a twist, because quite clearly Bayley did have this one. Becky Lynch ran in there, and instead of going, get out of here, Bales, and pinning Lyra, she hit the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, surprise roll-up on Bayley. But 1, the fact she did this kind of took you by surprise, as the name suggests, but 2, the execution of this thing, surprise, surprise, you give it to Becky Lynch, who is a goat, she's gonna make it look damn good. So it's a twist on what you would expect, and I also kind of got shocked here, because Becky Lynch did hold on to her Intercontinental title, and I thought she was gonna lose it, and I suppose you could do this again at SummerSlam Hot WrestleMania, because they all have such good chemistry together, they should be teaching science, and also they deserve a massive round of applause, because this women's IC belt now feels like fire, and everybody should want it, because everybody hates everybody else, and they care about it, and that's a secret sauce when it comes to wrestling. Terrific opener. Get it up. We then saw a clip from after the Great American Bash, when after their tag team match on that show, Jordynne Grace said, oh, hello, Blake Monroe. Would you please accompany me this evening when I do take on Jayne for the NXT title, because she's coming out with her army and I need one of my own. Blake said yes. As it turned out, this was going to be a terrible, terrible mistake. Of course, one of Jacy's people as well is Fallon Henley, who at one point was just choking Jordynne Grace, and the referee was distracted, so put a 1 on the dick board. They didn't know what was going on, and interestingly, at this point, Blake Monroe didn't really seem to care. Almost like she had a plan of her own. Grace still killed Jayne with his power bomb when Jayne came back with a neck breaker. And I thought, well, that's interesting. You know, one of you is trying to work the back and the other one is trying to break the neck. So when you do think about it, wrestling is totally flubbed up. It carried on too, because Jordynne got a fisherman suplex as Jacy hit a hurricane runner from the top rope. So this too was back and forth tennis. And actually, you can kind of go through every single one of that matches, and that was the idea. So we weren't going over the top here. We weren't trying to sell you on a moment. We were just letting people have competitive matches, and surprise, surprise, it was flipping good. Now, Fallon disagreed, because as soon as she was worried, she just threw the NXT title into the ring. Then we had some shenanigans with referees, and by this point, Blake was mad. And eventually, the championship went back to the outside. But that's when Jasmine Nix was like, actually, I thought this was a really good idea. I want to be involved too. But when she was going to do it, Monroe decided, no, I must be the hero. And she smacked her. But can you believe it? She held onto this trinket. And why the flub would she do that? Well, I'll tell you. Because eventually Jordynne Grace was going to hit the ropes in this Blake Monroe. And trust me, there was no confusion. There was no ha-ha, what happened? It was as clear as day. She took it. She smacked Jordynne Grace right in the back as Jacy Jayne came in with her big flying discus forearm thing, and she pinned her for the 1, 2, 3. What did Michael Cole on commentary say? Oh no, backfire. Like Blake Monroe had meant to hit Jacy Jayne. I was like, listen, man, I know whether that was intentional, you made a mistake. That's one of the silliest things I've ever heard. That's like shooting a guy in the middle of the street in front of a cop. The policeman saying, I know you did that, and you go, no, you don't. Now, Jacy Jayne wasn't anywhere in the vicinity, so no way could have this been like, oh my gosh, she didn't mean to do that. And I actually really like this, because so many people are like, oh man, Jacy Jayne should just be a traditional champion. Even the commentators mentioned that, whereas now she's going on a little bit of a run, and she's way better than people make out, and also, she's basically like an NXT veteran at this point. Give her her due. So I'm going to give it an up, because of course it now starts the Blake Monroe heel turn, and she can feud with Jordynne Grace, and that should be pretty good. But I am going to give it a bit of a down, because the execution of said heel turn wasn't ideal. Mostly because you want that moment, right? You want the people going crazy, like, oh, Kermit the Frog, I can't believe she did this. But instead it's like, she didn't mean to. She most definitely did. She stole from the cookie jar. Match up, that down. I'm also going to give it down to Jordynne's Grace theme, and if I go to hazard a guess, I bet she doesn't like it either. But that weird vocal thing she has beforehand that says something like, I must win, or the match doesn't end. It's so lame. It's so bad. She used to have banger music, and we changed it. I understand this is a conversation to be had throughout WWE. This one struck me in the face, so getting it down. We then did get a lot of talking, and as we've already chatted about, I would just cut that down because there's no need for it, when we did go into our 4-way tag team match. And I tell you, this is very exciting to me. It feels like WWE is focusing on the women's tag division again, after forgetting about it for around about 6 months. And all of these teams, well, they have something, damn it. I'm excited. There's also Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez taking on Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, or the allies of convenience, taking on Zaria and Sol Ruca, also taking on the Kabuki Warriors. It really did rock though, and actually, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss together are so much fun, as are Raquel and Roxanne. There are 2 points to this. One, it does feel like Raquel is starting to warm to Roxy, so Liv Morgan won't like that, but also here, we allowed Rodriguez to be a proper power monster. She was throwing everybody around. We gotta keep it up. That happened early on too, because Oscar and Kairi Say were just whipping Perez when Raquel did get the tag, and she was like, listen, I am way bigger than you, come here. She held him across the ring. Bliss soon tagged in, and people were so pumped for that, and they were trying for Charlotte Flair the whole time. And when she did get the hot tag, this place came unglued, so don't tell me this weird partnership isn't working, because it most definitely is. Although I did chuckle, because Charlotte Flair decided I'm going to start my hot tag with a top rope crossbody, which was cool, but I think Raquel and Roxanne turned around too early, so they were going like this. Nope. I love that side of wrestling. Zaria got her time to shine as well, and she murked Alexa Bliss at one point, and that's important. And this Sol Ruca has just had a terrific weekend. Like, at the moment, she is more of a moves wrestler, but that's totally fine. And some of the stuff she does hit, it's so damn inventive. Both of them will go very far. Flair eventually got a spear for a 1-2-0, and Goldberg will not like that because he has decreed only 1 spear per promotion, and he gave that to Bron Breakker. And yes, it was around here when Raquel Rodriguez was a bit concerned for Roxanne Perez. We've already talked about it. They're falling in love. Oscar and Kairi Sane had their flourish, and I tell you, ever since Oscar has come back, she has somehow leveled up, which is actually stupid when you think about it, because before her injury, she was one of the best wrestlers in the world, and she's still at that level, if not better. She could probably have another title reign at some point, or she can win the tag titles here. I don't care. It looked like they were going to win it too when all of a sudden Sol Ruca was back and she hit a Skull Snatch onto Charlotte Flair, which looked really good. And then it got even better because I think Ruca was going to go for Bliss, and at the last minute, Charlotte Flair had recovered and she just pulled Alexa Bliss out the way, meaning that Sol Ruca and Zaria smashed into each other. But the timing of that, once again, you got to give him a round of applause. It was like inch perfect. That is super duper difficult. Raquel didn't care about any of this though. She grabbed Alexa Bliss and powerbombed her onto the pile of people, which was totally nuts. When she yelled at Roxanne to take out Charlotte, she did a dive 2025, put a 1 on the counter. When she turned her attention to Sol Ruca, she hit the Tahana bomb, and she got the 1, 2, 3. So Raquel just came across like a wrecking ball here, so she'll be having a conversation with Miley Cyrus. And actually, when we get to SummerSlam, it should be the champions taking on Charlotte and Alexa. And I guess you could put the Kabuki Warriors in there too. It would be a bit weird because it's a copy and paste job, but this just proves it's not going to be bad. And we want good, and this is good, so we should do the good. I'm giving it an up, and again, don't let any of these people go after singles titles. They want the tag titles right now, so sick of it happens all the time. It's getting it up. WWE kept things simple next. At this stage, I just want to point out they were having way more fun with the match card and the match structure on Evolution, and I really do think it's something that WWE needs to do going forward. Not everything has to be 5 matches, we do this video here and this commercial there. Let's actually have some fun, or dare I said, be a little bit more creative. But it was Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus for the Women's Championship, and this Trish Stratus is 49 years old and doesn't look like she's missed a beat. We kind of hinted at, maybe this is her last match, but no way, man. When Trish is going to walk away properly, we need to Goldberg this and give her a big, this whole event is about Trish Stratus. I mean, seriously. I mean, if you just stop by to have a little look at what she can do, you'll be like, man, she's good. The only issue with this one is that it was kept quite short, which I did think was good, because again, it makes your card more fun. You don't know what is going to happen. But if only it had a much better build and a much better promotion leading up to it. I know I sound like a broken record, but this could have had so much heat. Instead, it was like friends having a bit of a fight. I feel like WWE let them down a little bit, so I am going to give it a down, but we can forget about that. It doesn't matter, because on this night, they did a fine, fine job. I mean, early on, Trish did this Hurricanrana Tornado DDT combo that looked awesome, and Tiffany Stratton came back with a backstabber. And I mean that figuratively, she didn't stab her with a knife. They then threw bombs at each other, and Trish was able to get the chick kick, but when Stratton went for the PME, Trish Stratus got her knees up. This is when I think Trish just was like, well, given that I have been wrestling for a long time, why don't I bust out a new move? I'm not kidding you. She went for a moonsault. 2 points I want to make out here. 1, it was the smoothest moonsault you've ever seen in your life. And 2, Tiffany Stratton put the knees up, which makes sense, because Trish Stratus done that to her, so she's already learned like a damn Pokemon. But man, Trish Stratus' tum-tum crush down here looked kind of horrible, and Tiffany grabbed her, gave her the Alabama slam. She got the PME, 1, 2, 3, it was over just like that. Actually, I haven't told you everything because turnaround is fair play, and Tiffany Stratton also hit a chick kick onto Trish Stratus, and afterwards they were like, yeah, we did it. But yes, I do think we could have achieved more here had they had more time to promo each other, but I don't want to go on about that. It was boring. It definitely worked. I suppose now it's Tiffany Stratton versus Jade at SummerSlam. Trish has to have one last match. Speaking of Jade Cargill as well, we then got my most anticipated match for this evening, because it was her versus Naomi in a no-holds-barred match. And just in case it got out of control, even though the clue is in the name, Bianca Belair was a special guest referee. But look, she didn't really do anything, and she was on that show, because of course Bianca Belair has to be on an Evolution show. Have you seen what she's done over the last 5 years? You couldn't have a women's division without her. That's not true, you could, but it'd be worse. Naomi even attacked Jade during her entrance, because these two just do not care. Then later on, Cargill hit a spear. I was looking around for Bill again. He is not going to be pleased. Naomi then hit a bulldog onto a chair when she got a chain out, and that scared me because chains have been all over the place this weekend. But actually, Cargill got it, and she was using it as a weapon when we had this best moment with a trash can. Of course, when a trash can is introduced in a wrestling match, you put it on somebody's head. I think at one point, it kind of slipped off Naomi, so she pulled herself back under it like she thought she was Solid Snake. At one point, Jade even used the flipping camera, so we quite literally were using everything. And then there was a toolbox. Put your hand up if you got a bit worried. Me too, we have talked about this. Retire the toolbox. I never want to see the toolbox again. 4 numbers for you, 2019 or 2019. If you know, you know. If you don't know, don't worry about it. Naomi eventually dodged though, and she kicked Jade Cargill into a TV and threw her through a table. And somebody somewhere was probably eating a Slim Jim. Then she also hit a face buster onto another chair, and that didn't work. I think that's when Naomi was like, man, what am I going to do? She decided to go up to the top rope, as all wrestlers do when they're looking for a plan B. But Jade Cargill stopped her with a chair when she got her into a position for an avalanche Jaded. And not only did she hit it, they went crashing through the table. It actually looked quite brutal. Jade Cargill got the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, that was pretty cut and dry, given what Naomi was going to do at the end of the show. I guess this could be the blow-off, but in terms of giving Jade Cargill momentum before her SummerSlam match, this was the way to do it, although I will say she really got her ass kicked. So we need to get her in one match where she does stand strong, She does look a superhero, so she should be doing superhero things. But I am giving it an up. I tell you, it was just fun. Fair play to WWE as well, because we got this women's battle royal and most people did get an entrance, which I think is important. Otherwise, you just feel like a lesser than star. If I were going to give it a grade overall out of 10, I'd give it a 7. It was just there. I'm glad a lot of people got thrown into it. It was a shame there weren't any surprises, but we got a good victor. What else do you need? We went out of our way to make sure that Nia Jax took a powerhouse instantly too, and I believe she won the battle royal at the first Evolution when she threw out Izzy Dame and Taya Paxley. And my only issue with this is it happened in around about 2.4 seconds, and given that they are NXT talents, this was their first real exposure on the main roster. I think Nia Jax could have gone with somebody else. She could have thrown out Julia, and you could have done a US title match at some point. Not really sure we did anything else there that would lead into that. So I am going to give it a down. That's just a nerd down. That's just a my down. I've done it now, you can't stop it. Jax also tried to throw Jordynne out of there as well, but she went Kofi Kingston and handstanded her way back to the ring, which was impressive, but I actually don't think is a word. Which is when Julia did eliminate Ivy Nile, so I suppose they're going to do that program. No, actually, they're on different brands. Didn't Chad Gable tell Ivy Nile to go after Stephanie Vaquer? Maybe something's going to happen there. Julia and Stephanie then had a stare off, and this made me laugh. I was like, listen, I understand what you're going for here, but we only saw this a few weeks ago. We haven't given it enough time. Stephanie then decided she was going to give the devil's kiss to Nikki Bella, but of course Chelsea Green broke it up, just so she could get booze. As always, nobody gets it more than Chelsea. Maxine Dupree then did a reverse worm, and she made Natalya do it too, which is the strangest thing to decide to try and pull off when you are in the middle of a so-called competitive match. This is when Jada Parker grabbed Natalya and threw her out. I was like, man, Natty, you're going to have to keep working the independent scenes, because WWE is never going to treat you as the wrestler that you do deserve. I mean, it's not your fault, but what are you going to do? Candice Ray then chucked Maxine too and essentially said, well, that's why you don't do worms. This is when Michael Cole called Candice LeRae Candice Michelle. Now, he did this a few times, and Wade Barrett, bless that man's heart, was all over him. But Michael Cole's justification was, well, it is Evolution. I'm like, well, how can I possibly be asked to remember more than one Candice? I'm just going to give it a down, mostly because it made me laugh so much. I thought, what a preposterous excuse. Just apologize and move on. Jordynne then pushed Parker into Candice to eliminate her when Meechin and B-Fab were like, wait a minute, we're a tag team. We can do some damage, so they threw out Parker. When we had the best madness, because Nia tried to eliminate Kalani, when Candice, who was already on the floor and already out the match, pulled her, and that was it for Kalani Jordan. She had been eliminated. Some people want this wrestling rule to go away. I will fight you. I will fight you to the end of time. It is so preposterous. It is so ridiculous. It is so goofy wrestling for life. That's why I want it there forever. If this is the case, why doesn't everybody do it? Zelina Vega then got rid of Julia, and Julia should be mad, because I think when Zelina Vega came out, it said US champion, which is not true. When Piper Niven realized she could do something, and she threw out B-Fab. Green then threw out Meechin, because they're always going to hate each other, when it was Lash Legend that did eliminate Zelina. So there were some interesting decisions here. When Nikki tossed Alba Fire, and Piper Niven sorted Lola Vice, when they had done some wiggling with Nikki. Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquer then got rid of Piper. They then worked together again so Stephanie could get the devil's kiss on Chelsea Green before eliminating her. So once again, what a trooper. Which is also when Lash Legend knocked out Nikki Bella after some shenanigans with Nia Jax. So that was a huge decision, especially because Lash was going to be part of the final two. I smell a call out. It did mean our last three were Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and Stephanie Vaquer. I think Steph and Lash were like, well, how are you ever going to throw Nia Jax out? Because she is a monster. And then they just threw her like she was nothing. When they fought to the apron, I think Lash Legend got stuck in the ropes a little bit. When, of course, Stephanie Vaquer was like, I can do the devil's kiss out here. And she must have locked Lash all loosey-goosey. She fell out the ring. Stephanie Vaquer is going to Paris for a title shot. Now, actually, the best part was the promo that Stephanie cut afterwards. She's done this on NXT and it's so good. She quite clearly struggles to speak English, but actually speaks very good English, all things considered. But she's so real, and she's so transparent, and she's still honest. Even if actual gibberish came out of her mouth, you'd be like, I really want you to do well and be successful, because how could anybody not support you? She also said that wrestling was her language, and that would be terrifying. Like me trying to say hello and somebody would get you in a wrist lock. But this was the right thing to do again. We never need to watch that battle royal again. But it is interesting, because it kind of feels like Stephanie Vaquer is so over. She probably should win a title soon, but what title is that? I don't know. I guess it's either Naomi or potentially Jade Cargill if she wins at SummerSlam. That's interesting, but yeah, it was fine. When we did indeed get to this main event, the WWE World Women's Super Duper Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Iyo Sky, just gonna tell you again what I said earlier. Any show, any main event across the world, this match could have been there and nobody would have complained. I mean, it's probably one of the best of 2025. They just wrestled to begin with. It was so damn aggressive. At one point, Iyo Sky did her pose, which she should never do, when Rhea then got the better of it, and she did Io's pose too. Now, I do understand we want to charge our meters, but I also think that everybody needs to calm down. We were then getting these mad acai moonsaults, which is a dive, 2025, put it on the board, and this tornado DDT that Iyo Sky hit. I think somebody had wound her up backstage before coming out here, because my gosh, she was on fire, and Rhea Ripley was the same. Maybe they just injected adrenaline into their veins. They just had so much rage. Sky then did another dive, so bam, whack it on the 2025 counter when Rhea Ripley was stopping suplexes. So instead, Iyo Sky did a poison rana, and I tell you, man, this did not feel like they were adhering to the WWE playbook at all, and this is the kind of leeway we have to give all of our superstars. I mean, they were just going crazy. A razor's edge and a massive bomb of power followed for a 1-2 ooh, and all of a sudden the riptide was reversed into a sleeper, and even the ref bump we got here was totally wild. Iyo went for this drop kick and she nailed the official who just went flying. But the genius of this was, one, it allowed Rhea Ripley to hit the riptide. She had a visual pinfall, but there was no referee. But also, he wasn't doing it because there was going to be distractions, interference, or confusion. We did it so they could go brawl around the place and do some crazy moves, and that just meant this match was better still. I'm going to use the word again. It was damn creative. They were flying into furniture as well, including box-like structures, when Iyo Sky climbed up this, what would you even call it, mountain of boxes that someone just so happened to make. But man, she dived off with this crossbody and she crushed Rhea Ripley. And at this point, I was like, man, let them fight forever, or for the allocated minutes they've been given on the show. Even when they got back to the ringside area, Iyo Sky just ran at Rhea Ripley, who missed, and she went right into Alan the announce table. But even then, she wouldn't stop. Back in the ring, powerbomb. She also got the moonsault for an awesome 1-2 ooh, and that got me. When Iyo wasn't done, and her and Rhea Ripley did the most insane Spanish fly you've ever seen. And I was like, well, what could possibly happen next? And yes, that's when Naomi's music hit. This place came unglued, and Naomi deserves a gold medal. She was limping and selling the effects of a no-holds-barred match. She's the wrestler of the year. But also, we didn't get the whole thing of Naomi going to a referee, I want to cash this in, and the referee being like, you want to cash this in? Yes, I want to cash this in. You think it's a bin? No, I want to cash it in. We did it pretty quickly, and as soon as the ring announcer got, oh, by the way, this means a triple threat match with no DQs. Naomi took the briefcase, she walloped Iyo Sky, which was funny for some reason, grabbed Rhea Ripley, threw her into the ring post. Iyo Sky obviously was dead. She hit the split-legged moonsault, she got the 1-2-3. It was so damn good. If anybody deserves it, is Naomi. How did it take 12 years to turn her heel? Totally preposterous. She is the women's champion, but all things considered, I think she's coming to Raw. It was so damn good though, and if you want to start throwing numbers out there, it was 5 stars or 6.25 stars in the Tokyo Dome. And given that we did get a cash in, well, you know that ties into the WWE moments, although even if we did have a winner and a loser, nobody would have been defeated here because the skill level was too good. It doesn't just get an up, it gets a golden up. And let me just say my catchphrase, if you have about 25 minutes today, go and watch this. You will have a roller coaster of a good time. Which brings us to the end of Evolution, and of course it's getting an up. It was a terrific pay-per-view, and they should do another one everywhere, because why the flub not? You have 60,422 shows, you can add another one on top. So yes, it's worthy of your time. And now I understand if you want a break from wrestling, I do too. And in a few hours, there is Monday Night Raw that has a gauntlet match for the #1 contendership, and for some reason, LA Knight is in it, even though he's a SmackDown guy. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. In the meantime, like the video, share the video, subscribe, leave me a comment below, click the video on the screen, which is ups and downs from Saturday night's main event. Now let's all go to bed. Or not, it's your choice. Goodbye.